Everyone, so I just thought today we would take a bit of shelter from the weather and talk about favorite fish in the entire world, and that would be the Oscars. So this guy's a red Oscar here. He got a little bit beaten up in his previous tank, so that's why he lives here now. But he'll be fine, bulletproof basically. This is my red tiger called Rambo. He's fine, got a little rip fin, but these things happen with the big fish. So yeah, there's just a few things I was wanting to kind of discuss about these guys, just because I think they don't get, there's a lot of misinformation out there from people who haven't kept them before, I think. So I kind of want to correct that. There's a few things. Number one, everyone always says that like these guys like piranhas and like beasts and like smash everything, like super aggro type of things. I very strongly disagree. They're very docile, I reckon. Like, they'll defend themselves and everything, and they can get a bit territorial, same as any cichlid, but way down on the peaceful end of cichlids, I think. I have had more trouble, personally, with these guys getting beaten up by other stuff, rather than them doing the beating up. So yeah, I mean, like, actually, in the past couple of days, I've noticed Rambo here has been getting bullied by, well, not bullied, but messed with by this tiny little green severum that'll be at least half the size of him, and he doesn't want to do anything about it. He just rolls over and swims down the other end of the tank, so what are you gonna do? But yeah, their aggression is massively overstated, I reckon. I mean, same as anything, you might get the odd one that's a bit nuts, but I mean, for the most part, they're super docile, super calm, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, the other next sort of myth I'd say around them is the food. Everyone says they're like predators and stuff, but that's a lie. Feeder fish and that, I wouldn't do feeder fish for these kind of guys. I'm not going to get into the debate about like breeding your own or whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. Just like eating other fish in general, no good. I believe in the wild their niche is like eating snails and stuff, but I mean they just eat like insects and that perfectly. It's a much better source of food than, your, I don't know, guppies or something. I really don't think that's the best food source for them. They really struggle to catch them. Occasionally, bro, that is so gross. Occasionally, I have chucked a, guppy cull or bashadi cull or whatever in, and they struggle to catch them, struggle to eat them. It's just not right. Like, cockroaches, crickets, locusts, any of this kind of things would be a better option for them. I'll walk down while I keep talking and show you guys my other one, which is, so that would be Jeremy the red Oscar, who's he's definitely the biggest, but he lives down this end of the shore. Oh, and of course he's hiding. I'm going to try to show some food. This old mate Jeremy. So he's nice and fat. I've had him since he was tiny. He's still got growing to do, but they take ages to grow. Like, they get good size fast as, and they take forever to get big sized. So yeah, the next thing I'd say is the tank size debate, the dreaded tank size debate. If you look online or that kind of thing, you'll go between people saying 55 gallons and 75 gallons, which is like a foot long, as long as this, but I think shorter and taller, like shorter front to back and taller. That is like comically too small. And then a 75 gallon is the same as this tank here, but shorter again, like maybe 2/3 of the height. In my opinion, I would never consider keeping an Oscar in less than a 5-foot tank, so that's like 150 centimeters. So this tank here is like 150 centimeters long, 60 centimeters wide, 60 centimeters tall. The height doesn't really matter. You can do a shorter tank if you want. Like, could do a 45 centimeter tall tank. They're not going to care. But that's the bare of a tank size that I would consider keeping them in. Ideally a bit longer, like a 6 foot, like why can't I think what that is? 180 centimeters long by, even if you did 180 centimeters long by 45 centimeters wide, 45 centimeters tall, definitely I think that's way more suitable long term, because you can see how big these fish are in this tank. Neither of them are anywhere close to full grown, and they're going to run out of space. I mean, so these guys are here now. They're not going to stay here forever. They're just here for now until they get some size. Then I'll probably chuck them back with Penny, the arowana, in the that tank, which is like 2.5 meters long or something. That's definitely way better long term. Yeah, they really, like, if you keep one and you keep it in a big tank, there's such a difference, like space wise and behavior wise and everything. Sorry, it's a bit noisy being by the road probably, but I'm an idiot, so I film stuff for that person. But yeah, I mean, that's way better long term. You'll get such better behavior, the fish will have more space. And like, I mean, yeah, these guys are just like fish, you know. They were fighting. When I first added them in, they fought for like maybe 2 minutes, so he's missing a few scales, but since then they've been like inseparable best buds, so, you know, they'll be fine. It sucks, but sometimes this happens with the big cichlids, or big fish, but yeah, he'll be sweet. He's got a bit of fin damage and stuff as well, but clean water, good food, everything like that, he'll be good as gold. But yeah, I would, bottom line, tank size, go big. Like, when I first got Jeremy, who was my first Oscar, so this tank for him, well, I didn't build it, I got someone to build it, but this tank was, I was kind of pressured, like, I was pressured into buying it by getting a 5-foot tank by someone I knew. I was very skeptical at the time. I was like, everything I read was like, 4 foot's fine, you'll be sweet, but I was wrong. I wouldn't keep an Oscar in this tank long term probably. Like, if I had one Oscar and left it pretty bare, you'll be fine. Which is why, like, I wouldn't keep multiple Oscars in this size. But like one Oscar long term, it's fine. Maybe just have that piece of wood there and like get rid of this little structure thing, and you'll be sweet. But really wouldn't recommend it. It's just bottom line is too small. You can shoehorn it in, but I mean, don't. In terms of space, the difference between a 5 and a 6 foot tank in your house, not going to be noticeable. Like, it's a big tank either way. So I just adding those extra 30 centimeters makes all the difference in the world. The price is going to go up, of course, but might be worth saving an extra 6 months, like, to get that bigger tank. Because yeah, I mean, they just really do need it. I'm sure. I mean, I guarantee there were people in the comments telling me how wrong I am, but this is my experience playing with them. Like, I've got 3 now. I've had more in the past that have moved along. Had a couple pretty good size albino red tigers a while ago that I sold because they were pairing up and getting a bit aggro. But I just really get that 6 foot tank. Even if you don't believe me, just do an experiment, get it, and you will really see such a difference. Like, it'll be so worth it long term. So yeah, I mean, like, to summarize, get that big tank, just do it. Don't feed them feeders, they're not that aggressive. Be mindful of things beating them up, like chucking them with jags and stuff, they'll just get smashed. They're pretty docile, I reckon. Like things like Severums, Plecos, Jeff Vegas species, probably not Braziliensis, but yeah. If you in my 2.5 meter tank, I used to have Braziliensis and they were fine, but they did scrap a bit, but there was enough space for them to go along. Those would be good tank mates, yeah, like Plecos, Synodontis species, knifefish. I'd stay away from your more aggressive stuff. Like, I'd stay away from your jags and your flower horns and red devils, Midas, this kind of thing, because they're just too docile. They get smashed. And yeah, don't do feeders. If you're going to do feeders, if you want to feed live food, feed stuff like earthworms, random insects, all this kind of thing. It'll be much more fun. The fish will enjoy it much more, and everyone will be happy. Bottom line is though, get an Oscar. They'd be my favorite fish to keep. Like, I know I go on about Africans all the time, but like, man, love me an Oscar. But yeah, I mean, they're so rewarding, but make that commitment. Big tank, clean water, big filter, all this kind of jazz. So yeah, if you got any questions, let me know. Otherwise, yeah, that's it from me. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.